Randy, is it okay
Yeah,
that I've had the heat on for almost a week and a half now?
you have, huh?
I, I,
Well,
I'm
okay.
chilly. I'm chilly, dude.
So yeah, I mean, it's funny you see people online and, well, I don't turn the heat on until after Thanksgiving or whatever. So whatever makes us happy. Hey,
Yeah.
folks, Randy Wooden with Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina. And yeah, it's been chilly on and off here the last few weeks. I'll tell you what, it's really it tells you fall is here and winter's not far away.
Yeah.
I run our professional center. Yeah, we have a professional center at Goodwill. We are the first and we believe still the only one in the country, Goodwill Industries, Northwest North Carolina, that has a standalone professional center. So if you're in a job search or you know somebody that might be, have them reach out, work with people all across the country, all different ages, industries, backgrounds, that kind of thing. So we're free, work by appointment, and reach out and find me. Happy to help.
Yeah.
Teddy, who
Cool.
are you? And you look different today, Teddy. You're
Yeah.
sitting down now? Am I
Yeah,
seeing things or
my
what?
my interior decorator is working on rebuilding my
Okay.
studio. She's made huge, massive improvements behind the camera,
Okay.
and she's going to help me figure out what to do with the stuff behind me here. So a little bit of change. So hey, for those who've never met me, I'm Teddy. I'm a LinkedIn strategist, trainer, and
Hmm.
coach. I also teach Google Workspace as business tools. Love helping corporations with sales teams. Love helping individuals and entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and even people in career transition who want to get more value out of LinkedIn because that's an interesting tool. It may continue to be worthwhile something for at least a few more years. But every week, Randy and
Yep.
I get together. We do this Monday show where Randy does the research he's responsible to do. We have a few stories we'll share with you. We'll introduce our speaker for this Wednesday and hang on to the end of the show because Randy and I always have some good tips. Randy's going to talk finance today. So you might want to hear those
Hmm.
good tips. So buddy, did you do some good research?
I did, and I'll weave the research into my tip at the end, just so you
Okay.
know. So we're a pretty high level show here. So, all right. So, Teddy, put your thinking caps on here. I got a little trivia for you. These are births on this date. The year was 1817. I know you weren't born yet.
Not yet.
Not quite. So, I have 1817 and 1911. So these are both French chemists.
Oh, yeah. I know all the
So,
French.
in case, just so you know, in case you're ever on Jeopardy and the category is French chemists, you may get both these right.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. So, this dude's name, 1817, this guy invented something. His name is Hippolyte Mege Maurice.
The
He's French.
Twinkie.
It's Maurice. He's
Maurice. The
Maurice.
Twinkie. He created the Twinkie.
That's not actually, that's a pretty good guess. He invented margarine.
Ah!
You think of a margarine stick, which is made out of goop, and I
Yeah,
don't know what the heck's in a Twinkie, but it's kind of goopy. Is that a word? Anyway,
it is.
so
It
that,
is now.
congrats to Hippolyte or whatever his name is, and then 1911, another French chemist. This guy is Paul Gregory, or something like that.
Yeah.
He invented something.
Yeah.
And
Food? Is it is it rock,
animal,
mineral, air?
animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Yeah.
I'll call it mineral.
Okay. Ajax
He's
cleaning.
he invented the PET, the PET plastic beverage bottle. So the next question for me, I've heard this PET before. What the heck's PET? What does that stand for?
Yeah, it's
Again,
polyethylene triacylbuka.
you're awful close, Teddy. Were you a chemist in your prior existence? Yeah, so that's what it is. But it's basically plastic drinking bottles. We had a few people who passed away on this date. By the last name, you'll know.
From eating too much margarine.
No, this guy died from eating too much of his own product. Maybe his name, 1922. His name was George Cadbury.
Oh, the poor guy. He died from eating the Cadbury egg.
Chocolate overdose. Yeah, chocolate and cocoa. They manufactured that. A couple of folks involved with civil rights issues. Jackie Robinson, baseball player, first African American in the major leagues, passed away in this date, 1972. Rosa Parks passed away in 2005, and again famous for not relinquishing her seat on a bus to a white person, and went on to kind of have her name as part of that whole mosaic of the civil rights movement. All right, you ready, Teddy? I'm going to sing for you. This guy died in 2017. Ready?
Yep.
I found my thrill
on Blueberry
Hill. I found my thrill. Yeah. Fats Domino.
That's Domino. Yeah.
Yep. And then events, and this will tie into the tips here at the end, but Black Thursday, the year was 1929. This was the beginning of the stock market crash. They dropped over 12% in one day, like today. Okay. 1929. Also, in 1945, the United Nations Charter went into effect. And on this date, in 1962, Cuban Missile Crisis was hot and heavy. And I remember reading somewhere, I don't know, was it Rumsfeld? I forget who. Forget that. Whoever the Secretary of Defense was for Kennedy at the time. I remember reading where he later in life, reflecting back on that, he said when he went home from work on Friday, the Friday of that weekend or whatever, he very seriously thought he may not live to Monday. McNamara. He said we were that close. Yeah. And that kind of gives me chills just thinking about it. And, with all this crap going on with Ukraine and all, who knows what that nut's going to do. Yeah. Right. And just anyway, so we're living on the edge to this day. Yeah. All right. So that's it, man. Those are a few things going on, and a quick story. College homecoming a while back was really cool to meet up with people. And what I find interesting is that, especially with good friends, is that you can pick right up even if you haven't seen them in some time. And that was fun. Also get to meet new people, and got to hang out with some of the young, what I'll call kids in my old fraternity. And as the wise old sage, I was able to impart wisdom on how we lived back in the day. Let's just say
over a 16 ounce or a 22 ounce.
Both. But yeah, we had a good time. We had a good time, shared stories, and got to meet some alums who graduated before I did, actually, and again, hearing what life was like in the 60s and 70s. So interesting stuff. But so that's it for this. You got a good story for us, and let's talk about our guest.
Yeah, Randy, I've been doing what I do for 13 years now.
Yep.
Kind of set in my ways, because I know how to do it. I know how to do it, Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got challenged last week. I had a guy come to me and he wants me to do a program for his people. And he doesn't want me to do it the way I do it. He wants me to do it differently. And he told me, he says, this is what I want you to do. I want you to do your training and doing your coaching in this program, but I want you to deliver it this way. And simply stated, he doesn't want me to, he wants me to build a slide deck. And he wants me to present that slide deck and not go in and out of LinkedIn or wherever else I am. And, he wants me to stay in the slide deck. So I got to do screenshots and paste screenshots on the slides. And it's just not the way I do things. And Randy, I know how to freaking do this. And as he was telling me what he wants me to do, and as I was snorting in my head, not out loud, I realized, what? My way is not the only way. There are other ways to do things. And so I will be totally upfront and transparent. I'm really resistant to do it this way. But you know what? I've got to experience it and see if maybe it will create more value. Maybe the audience will be more engaged. Maybe they'll ask more questions. I don't know. But I just realized, I'm really reluctant at this, but I just realized I've got to go experiment with doing it differently than what I normally do. And so that's, we'll see. I'll report back next month when I get this done and let you know what happens. So, but my story is all about my way is not the only way. So,
well, there you go. Yeah. And that's true. And I think the older I get, I don't know about you, but the older I get, I do feel set in my ways in some aspects, but I also realize I don't know everything, and that it's a big world and there are a lot of different ways to slice and dice stuff. So
Yeah.
I guess the older I get, the less I realize I know.
Yeah, you and me both. I'm with you. Yeah.
Hey, we've got a good guest coming up. He's an old friend of both of ours, Paul Jones. Yeah. And he'll be in to talk about cyber threats, cyber security. And we'll touch on businesses and cybersecurity, but the main focus is for you, the person watching. And
you talking about me?
What do I? You too, Teddy. All of you all. How's that?
Yeah.
All of you all. But as individuals, what are the latest and greatest threats out there that we need to be aware of? How do we protect ourselves as best we can? How do we play smart, I guess, is a way to look at it. So he's going to cover kind of the latest and greatest stuff out there we need to be aware of. And this is good, again, not just for you in your personal life, also in your business life. And for those that may be watching that are homeowner or business owners, what are some things you need to safeguard yourself against? Again, it's usually a matter of when, not if, somebody's going to hit you. And it's just, now how can you protect yourself? What do you do about it? My tip.
Okay, what's your tip, buddy?
My tip deals, we talked about this Black Thursday that, happened right before the Great Depression. And actually, one of the events I didn't talk about, and I'm making this up because I don't have it in front of me, was back in 2008 on this date. The stock market dipped about 10%.
Yeah.
I mean, we took a nosedive. And when you think about it, two things here. One is your personal finances. And so as we look ahead, I mean, all the tea leaves are pointing to darn near 100% chance of recession in the next year. And so forget the geopolitical piece of this thing, politics and who helps and who's hurt by that. That's a whole different topic. I'm talking about you and your pocketbook. Do you have your pocketbook with you, Teddy? You got all kinds of stuff back there.
I do, Randy.
Do you have a little like a change purse?
It's got a lot of dust in it.
But, let's be careful and be smart about the money that we spend because we're looking at, during a recession, you're going to be looking at layoffs and just a whole bunch of turmoil. And something else to think about, and I remember this back from 08, 09, when there were no jobs out there. Yeah. And those who had recently switched jobs during the good times of 2007 or fast forward of this past year, jobs were plentiful. But you know what? If you're the last hired, you may be the first to be let go.
Yeah.
And so that's a potential concern. I know I'm hearing it. Maybe you are too. Companies even now are putting on hiring freezes. We're seeing some moderate layoffs. We're seeing just that pendulum swinging back a little bit more with power to the companies versus to the workers. And I think that'll just continue to build. As
you got to keep our eyes open. Got to pay attention.
Yeah, I think you're right. So that's my tip. Just to be heads up and be smart. And if you're going to make a change, there's never a guarantee any job is forever, but just be aware that if there is a recession coming up, you may be potentially, draw the short straw.
I'm lucky, Randy. My boss has not said to me, we need to talk yet.
Step into my office.
Yeah. So, all right, here's my tip.
Okay.
Help others and others will be more willing to help you. I'm a businessman. As a businessman, I've got to keep growing my business, got to keep doing the things I know, keeps the door open and keeps the phone ringing and the emails coming in. And so I'm doing outreach like any other businessman. I'm doing the business development like any other businessman's doing, but I'm also doing this, giving away my time. Now, I give away my time with Randy and we hang out, every week for, an hour and a half, 2 hours. And that for me is fun. That's not really the philanthropic give that I know I have to do. And one of the things that I know makes my business more successful is where I show up and give away my time where my target audience is. Give it away with no expectations. Show up, share ideas, help somebody, introduce somebody to somebody. That is so powerful. To help others with no expectations. And for me, and Randy, I know you live this as well, it makes my world better in lots of ways. So my tip is simply this: help others and others will be more willing to help you, period. So
good advice.
Yeah. So
hey, look, it's getting time.
Yeah. Paul and I and Randy, Paul Jones, this 11:55 a.m. on Wednesday. conversations about cyber threats and how we as individuals can play a role in dealing with that. So, dude, I will see you on Wednesday, man.
We'll do it. Have a good one. See you,
All right,
Teddy.
talk to you later on. Bye.
Yep.